Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Mudire Nashtaprayeshu Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavatir-uttama-shloke bhaktir-bhavati naishpaki Om Ajnana-timirandasya gnananjana-shalakaya Chakshurun-militam yena tasmai Shri-gurave namaha Namo Vishnu-padaya Krishna-preshthaya bhutale Srimate Bhakti-vedanta-swamin-niti namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharini Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna. So we will continue our discussion of Śrīmad Bhāgavatam. We finished till verse 10. Okay, so we want to proceed further. Okay, so this is a very famous verse. Vadanti tat tattvavidas tattvam yajnanam advayam brahmeti paramatmeti bhagavaniti shabdyate. Learned transcendentalists. Who are transcendentalists? Transcendentalists are those who are not karmis. Anybody who is searching after transcendence, searching after anything beyond this material world is a transcendentalist. So there is karmi, who is living for just material sense gratification. He is equivalent to an animal if he is not following Vedas. And beyond karmis, gnanis, ashtanga yogis, bhaktas, all of them are transcendentalists. So learned transcendentalists, which means that there are non-learned transcendentalists and there are learned transcendentalists. Which means that there are also higher and lower levels of knowledge that one acquires in these on these different paths. Learned transcendentalists who know the absolute truth. There are learned transcendentalists who don't know the absolute truth also. So who know the absolute truth, they call this non-dual substance. Bandva mukta, non-dual. So everything about this material world is dual. Cold, heat, happy, sad, good, bad, everything is, there is duality in this material world. But this non-dual substance or absolute, what is absolute? Absolute is something which doesn't change. And it doesn't have dualities. Okay, what does that mean? That means that not that in spiritual world there is no dark, white, Krishna is dark, Balaram is white, or there is no night, day, not like that. But the dualities of material world are not there. Like for us in the material world, heat is a source of trouble, cold is a source of trouble. For some, heat is a trouble, for somebody cold is a trouble. But everything in the spiritual world is happiness, is just gives happiness. And this Brahman is actually beyond the duality of this material world. Brahman and everything, as in the absolute truth, and everything related with the absolute truth is beyond the duality of this material world. So it's called non-dual substance. Advayam, that is a Sanskrit word. So this absolute truth can be realized in three phases: Brahman, Paramatma, or Bhagavan. So Prabhupada quotes this verse in the second chapter, second verse, I think, in the purport, saying that because that verse starts with Bhagavan Shri Bhagavan Vata. So to help readers understand who this Bhagavan is, Srila Prabhupada quotes this verse and also references various other shastras to help us understand who Bhagavan is. And Parashara Muni, he has given us the definition of Bhagavan, Aishwaryasya, Aishwarya. Aishwaryasya Samagrasya. Samagra means complete, whole, or whatever is there. Samagra, all of it. Aishwaryasya Samagrasya Viryasya. Aishwarya, Virya, which is valor. Viryasya Yashasa, Yashas, fame. Shriyaha, beauty. Gnana, knowledge. Vairagya, renunciation. Samagrasya, one who possesses all these 6 qualities in full is Bhagavan. Now, if we see Brahman, Paramatma, now who is Brahman? Brahman is the this energy or light coming from the body of Bhagavan. So Brahman in that way is dependent on Bhagavan. And Brahman is just one of the attributes of the Supreme Lord, just his prabhe or his glow. So it's just one aspect. People who come to Brahman, Gnanis normally, they come to Brahman and they think that he is all in all, that he is the supreme. And then they say, this Bhagavan is imaginary. So actually, it's supreme, absolute truth is Nirakar because it is he's Brahman. Brahman doesn't have any form. Brahman is everywhere. Kalvidam Brahma, everything is Brahman. Material world, spiritual world, everything is Brahman, which is what? It is just energy. So he is no form. He is no form, he has no qualities. So what about these forms, qualities mentioned in the Puranas? They are just imaginary. They are required till we realize Aham Brahmasmi. So yesterday I was reading one more beautiful rendition of the second canto by some of our devotees on mysteries of creation. So in that, I was wondering, when we read Śrīmad Bhāgavatam, it becomes very clear, saying that Bhagavan is ultimate. And I was wondering why people get stuck. Why everybody would have read this verse. People who have read this verse, right? Who read Bhagavatam. But they still don't understand that Bhagavan is supreme. Why? Because people are so foolish, answers Shukadeva Goswami. People are so foolish that it's like, today in this material world, so many people have their own viewpoints. If somebody says, okay, a particular thing has to be done this way only, then he or she will not be willing to hear anybody else giving a different viewpoint because they think that their thought process itself is perfect. So even the Gnanis, all these Gnanis are actually Munis, they are professors. So like one professor will have one viewpoint, another professor will have another viewpoint. So it's like that. So these Gnanis, actually these Gnanis have their own viewpoints. And everybody they go into like PhD. So there is Gautama, who is given Nyaya philosophy. There are 6 philosophies, major philosophies. One is Gautama. Gautama's Nyaya philosophy, he's just into logic. He has no acceptance beyond logic. So now, Supreme Lord is beyond logic, right? Achintya. So Gautama cannot accept Krishna. So unfortunate. A brilliant Muni. But he's stuck with one small branch of knowledge in the Vedas, which is Nyaya. And that's it. He's just stuck. He cannot accept or understand anything beyond. That is why we should feel we are very fortunate. We are not like so brainy, brilliant like these Munis, Rishis who can talk about various topics endlessly till eternity. But we've just simply come to the acceptance of Bhagavan. So simple, better. More simple, the better. That is why Prabhupada said, material education is a disqualification for bhakti because we will use our, contaminated brain to question everything and not accept things that we should accept, but we end up accepting things that we should not accept. And this is the case with all the, so many learned people. They cannot come to the stage of Bhagavan. They are Gnanis, they are searching. But only few, like for example, Shukadeva Goswami himself was a Gnani. But he heard Śrīmad Bhāgavatam. From whom? From his father, Srila Vyasadeva. And then he came to Bhagavan. He became attracted by Bhagavan. So we are very fortunate that we have not got stuck with Brahman or Paramatma. Even today, there are so many schools out here. I mean, most of the schools are teachers who would say we are schools of transcendental knowledge. They're cheating. They'll say you live however you want, be happy. Bakwas, pura nonsense. And then there are others who are following some process, but they think they are supreme. I met one Gnani. He was saying, "Ha, you are Krishna. Yeah. We should worship Krishna, but we should understand that ultimately it is all shunya. It is all just energy." And said, "We are saying like this, Krishna is so beautiful, so nice, so attractive, and he has been described. His person has been described in various shastras, but they don't want to accept. Very unfortunate." So Brahman is just simply one aspect, small, tiny, little, insignificant aspect of the Lord. Insignificant because he has so many other beautiful qualities. And this Brahma Jyoti is just insignificant. But that insignificant part is also so powerful that it is the cause of creation. This whole material world comes from Brahman. So then there is Paramatma. Paramatma is considered as a partial representation of Supreme Lord. Again, he is slightly better than, substantially better than Brahman, because Paramatma is a beautiful Vishnu Murti form. Right? Chaturbhuja, Shankha Chakra, Gada, Padmadhari. Beautiful, description we will see as we proceed. The Lord in the heart. He is residing in the heart, along with the Atma, in every body. There's the same beautiful form. But who will go behind Paramatma? This is this Dhyana yogis. They meditate on the this beautiful form, Paramatma form, Antaryami form of the Lord. But eventually they also want to become one with Brahman. So they're also unfortunate. So amongst these Brahman, Paramatma, Vadis, those who come eventually to Bhagavan, they're the fortunate souls. Bahunam janmanam ante. Bhagavad Gita says, Bahunam janmanam ante. Gnanavan mam prapadyate. When this Gnanavan prapadyate surrenders to me, Vasudeva Sarvamiti, Sa Mahatma Sudurlabha. He accepts Vasudeva as Sarva. Vasudeva is Vasudeva's son. Vasudeva, Krishna. Sa Mahatma Sudurlabha. So we are all Sudurlabha category. If you have accepted Krishna as the Supreme Lord. So this verse is actually the basis for us to show that Bhagavan is supreme, and how Brahman, Paramatma, everything is just very partial, incomplete representation of the Supreme Lord. Let me see what else Srila Prabhupada is saying. Yeah, Prabhupada is also saying Brahman, Paramatma and Bhagavan are qualitatively one and the same. They're qualitatively one and the same. Same substance is realized as impersonal Brahman by students of Upanishads, as localized Paramatma by the Hiranyagarbhas or the yogis, and as Bhagavan by the devotees. In other words, Bhagavan, he is the last word of the absolute truth. Absolute means there is nothing beyond, or it doesn't change. That is absolute. Paramatma is partial representation, Brahman is the glowing effulgence. If in the absolute there is no such sense of difference between knower and the known, and therefore everything there is absolute, which means in the material world, knower is the Atma, known is the material. Anyway, this is technical. So everything in the absolute truth is Adhyatman, is basically this spiritual substance. In the material world, Atma is spiritual, everything else is material. So this is a verse required for us to defend or show that Bhagavan is supreme, and the whole of Bhagavatam is about Bhagavan. It is about Bhagavan and his beautiful pastimes. Okay. Tachadadana munayo gnana vairagi yuktaya pashyanti atmani chatmanam Bhaktya Shuta Grihitaya. The seriously inquisitive student. Seriously inquisitive student is also called sage. So we are all sages if we are seriously inquisitive. So we can call ourselves Muni. Seriously inquisitive student, well equipped with knowledge and detachment. Gnana Vairagya Yuktaya. So what is the qualification of seriously inquisitive student? He should have knowledge and he should have detachment. Detachment from everything which is not connected to Krishna, not directly connected. Everything material. Well equipped with knowledge. So which means he should very clearly know Sambandha Gnana, who he is, what is his relationship with the Lord, what is his real duty. All this he should know. And knowing that he should be detached. Such a person realizes the absolute truth. How does he realize absolute truth? Not by Brahma process or Paramatma process, by rendering devotional service in terms of what he has heard from the Vedanta. So here it's being very clearly said that the path to realize this absolute truth is devotional service. Conclusive statement, and that there is no other path. This is the path that we have to follow. And again, like I said, we are also fortunate that we are connected to a very authorized bhakti parampara by the mercy of Srila Prabhupada. Okay. Here, Prabhupada is giving some important information in the purport. So he's talking about 3 classes of devotees. There are 3 classes of devotees, namely first class, second class, third class. The third class devotees or the neophytes who have no knowledge and are not detached. Because there's knowledge and detachment. Prabhupada is saying now, based on this knowledge and detachment, there are 3 classes of devotees. So the neophytes have no knowledge. They have no understanding, clear understanding. They are just temple goers, temple worshippers. And they're not detached from material association. In fact, they are attached to material association. And so they're simply attracted by the preliminary process of worshipping the deity. They are called Prakrita Bhaktas, material devotees. Which means that they are more attached to material benefit than transcendental profit. So they'll come to the temple and they'll pray, give me this, give me that. So all of us, actually, at least I was doing this, going to Tirupati and asking for material benefit. So we are material devotees, but we are devotees. We are material devotees. We didn't even have an understanding of transcendence. So there is no question of asking for transcendental profit. Therefore, one has to make definite progress from the position of material devotional service to second class devotional service. So we have to make progress. Prabhupada is very clearly saying, don't be stuck in the third class. Come to the second class. Now, what is the second class? In the second class, the devotee can see 4 principles. First, he will see the personality of Godhead. He'll see the Supreme Lord. Then he will also see his devotees. So this is very important. If you only see the Supreme Lord, but if we don't see his devotees, we still remain Prakrita Bhaktas. So we have to see his devotees. We have to understand the great position of his devotees. Krishna says, Bhaktya me adhikaha. Krishna says, my devotees are greater than me. That's his mercy. So we have to see his devotees. We have to serve his devotees. Like we want to serve the Supreme Lord, we have to serve his devotees. Then they also see the ignorant. They see the ignorant. Whole world is ignorant. They don't know who they are, why they are here, what they are doing. And the second class devotee will have compassion for the ignorant. He wants to give this process of bhakti to the ignorant. That is why, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, Yare deko tare kaho Krishna Upadesh. So we have to keep trying this all the time. Whether in happiness or distress, somebody is in distress, best time to give them Krishna consciousness. Because they'll be seeking some shelter for their mind is troubled and, they want to take some shelter of something. And they will take shelter of some nonsense. And before they do that, you should give them Krishna consciousness. So once I was thinking, I'll put a board in front of my house saying that for any problems, please walk in. And I thought like thousands of people will walk in. I've still not done it. But I'm seriously contemplating about it. right? Because people have trouble. When people have trouble, they will want to hear. They will want to hear, and they will follow because they're in a very weak situation. Mm. So we should have compassion for the ignorant. We should not be satisfied. Oh, okay, I am doing my chanting, I am doing my reading, I am doing my bhakti. Okay, my neighbor is suffering. They're in ignorance. It's okay. It's their problem. No, this is not a second class devotee. Mm. So we should have compassion for the ignorant in second class, and we should also notice the envious. Envious are people who just don't want to hear about Krishna. If you speak about Krishna to them, they will blaspheme Krishna. They will offend Krishna. Second class devotees, they remain away from such people because there's no point in going and talking to a person who's going to end up offending Krishna, because of which he's going to go to hell. But a second class devotee has to see these four things: Supreme Lord, his devotees, ignorant, and envious, and act accordingly. So Prabhupada is saying one has to raise himself at least to the stage of second class, if not the first class. Hmm? So this is very important. And what is the how does the third class devotee raise himself to the position of second class? He has to go to the personality of devotee, which is the Uttamadhikari, or he can also go to the Madhyamadhikari, second class also, and he has to hear from him. He has to learn the instructions of devotional service. Huh? And who is such a devotee? He is not a professional man, Prabhupada is saying. He is not a professional man who earns his livelihood by the business of Bhagavatam. Hmm? Such a devotee must be a representative of Shukadeva Goswami, because he should just repeat whatever has been told in Śrīmad Bhāgavatam, and must preach the cult of devotional service for the all around benefit of all people. And he's saying neophyte also has very little taste for hearing. And he might make a show of hearing. But this sort of hearing and chanting spoils the whole thing. So one must at least develop some desire to hear. If he doesn't have a desire to hear, nowadays this also happens. People don't have a desire to hear. We'll say, okay, just somehow give them bhakti. And they will do bhakti, and then some difficult situation comes in life, they will just fall off, or they will accept some, unauthorized process, or they will just go somewhere because they have no knowledge and they're not doing Tivra Bhakti. Because if somebody Tesham Satata Yuktanam Bhatatam Priti Purukam Dadami Buddhi Yogam Tam. Krishna says if they are engaged in Tivra Bhakti, then I will give them guidance. But if these devotees who have no knowledge, they're not engaging in Tivra Bhakti, they will not get knowledge. They might just lose this so precious, most precious Bhakti. So people who can understand, assimilate, we should always try to help others. Try to, whatever little we know, it's not that, see, everybody, all of us have different levels of knowledge that we have gained, whatever extent, but we all know the essence, that we are servants of Krishna. We should just share this with other people and tell them follow ABCD. Simple. What is preaching? Krishna is the Supreme Lord. We are his servants. So follow ABCD in your life. Over preaching. End of preaching. Before Corona, people used to find it difficult to preach, and they're asking so many questions. So now I say very easy. You preach to them, connect them to online classes. Whoever, I mean, if we are doing some classes, many other people are doing classes, connect people to online classes. Let them hear regularly. So this is very, very important. We have to come to second class, Prabhupada is saying. Without hearing such literatures, one cannot make actual progress. That is why we are giving so much emphasis to hearing. Somehow or the other, Hindi class, Kannada class, English class, somehow or the other we have to hear. We have to hear the authentic message. We have to hear what Prabhupada is saying. We cannot, if we simply hear, many people nowadays in ISKCON also, they talk about, some mind and, some peripheral, like materially connected things. No, we should speak about Krishna. Sometimes, we hear classes where the name of Krishna is not mentioned even once, because they say we want to be secular. Say, what is secular about Krishna consciousness? The name only says Krishna consciousness. How can it be secular? In one way, it is secular because it is Sanatana Dharma. But if we associate Krishna with Hinduism, then it is not secular. Prabhupada, if he was worried about secularism, he would have called it God consciousness. In fact, some devotees suggested, saying that, Prabhupada, why don't you call it International Society for God Consciousness? More other people, Christians, Muslims, everybody will come. Prabhupada said, no, God is Krishna, let them know. So there's no question of secularism. There's no question of preaching without Krishna, without Krishna's name, without Krishna's qualities, without Krishna's pastimes. And without hearing and following the instructions, the show of devotional service becomes worthless. So this is very important. Hearing means following instructions. Hearing doesn't mean, okay, I hear, I will follow whatever I want. I will not follow whatever I want. See, and hearing, result of hearing is application. Yesterday I was talking to Mataji. The effect of hearing should be practical application. That's why I keep saying, when we hear, we should make a note. And what is the idea of this note? Is to make sure that I will apply it in my life. Life offers us so many opportunities to apply instructions of Krishna and Prabhupada. Sometimes we know that we try to apply, but we fail. But that's okay. That's okay. But we should constantly be in this introspective mood. Okay, did I apply Prabhupada's instructions? Did I apply Krishna's instructions? Otherwise, here Prabhupada is saying, otherwise this devotional service becomes worthless if you don't follow instructions. So, devotional service has to be established on the process of Shruti, Smriti, Puranadi, Pancharatri Vidam Vina, Aikantiki Harit Bhakti, Utpata Eva Kalpati. It just becomes a disturbance. So we should not do like that. We should follow authorized process. We should apply those principles in our life. And then we will make progress. We will go nearer to Krishna. So the whole idea here is, Prabhupada is saying that one should be well equipped with knowledge, one should become detached, and one should render devotion. Many people say, I have been hearing. I say, what is the result of hearing? Have you become detached from material life? I say, yeah, to some extent. How much detachment? Nothing. I just expect that I have a happy family. I said, like, well, that is the last thing that you will get in this material world, is a happy family. You can maybe hope to get some wealth, some money. It's all possible. But happy family is the ultimate. And it's possible only when everybody in the house is Krishna conscious. That means that you're not heard. You're not heard properly. So we should have knowledge, proper knowledge. By practice of sadhana bhakti, we will develop detachment. And develop detachment doesn't mean developing irresponsibility. A lot of people have this confusion. Oh, I'm detached, so I'm not going to do my responsibility. No. Detachment means doing responsibility without being attached to it. Please note this. Detachment means doing our responsibility without being overly attached to it. Not like stone-like. Some people say, okay, if there is no attachment, then we become like stone. No, not that kind of detachment. With a sense of duty, saying that I have to do this duty. Previously, people never had this thing about, I will do this if I like it. People always used to say, I will do it because it's my duty, and they will do it with full love and affection, with full care, because it's their duty. But today, this word duty has taken a very official kind of, um, uh, tone, right? So duty means, okay, I have to just do it because somebody's saying. No, duty means that, okay, I have to do it. It's what I need to do, and I will do it with full care, love, and affection. So that is knowledge and detachment. And so we know that, okay, anything connected with this material world, it's not very important. If I get it, okay, it's Krishna's mercy. How do I use it in Krishna's service? If I don't get it, it's okay. Because anyway, it's not that my life is dependent on that. So knowledge, detachment, and rendering devotional service, all these three should go hand in hand. If you're living a very flamboyant life, very aristocratic. Of course, I mean, there are great devotees like Pundarika Vidyanidhi, who was a great aristocrat, but they had no attachment to their material things. Raghunath Das Goswami, so many examples. Sanatana Goswami, Rupa Goswami. They had no attachment to their material possessions. They simply had because of situation. That's it. And they were always engrossed in thinking about Krishna. Okay. Let's see if anything else. Yeah, okay. Verse 12. Adapumbit Vijashreshta Varnashrama Vibhagashaha Svanishritasya Dharmasya Samsiddhir Haritoshanam. Beautiful verse. O best among the twice born, it is therefore concluded that the highest perfection one can achieve. So because in the previous verse, Sukadeva Goswami already said that one has to discharge devotional service. So he's saying, now what about people who are focused on Varnashrama, on executing their devotional, their duties? Saying highest perfection one can achieve by discharging the duties is to please the personality of Godhead. Even if somebody is in the Varnashrama, actually the whole idea of Varnashrama is Samsiddhir Haritorshanam. So I'll read some part of the purport, which is very, very important, especially this time when most of ISKCON is rejecting this Varnashrama. So we'll see what Prabhupada says. In the best interest of human society, there must be such divisions of life, this Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra. Otherwise, no social institution can grow in a healthy state. Today's argument is, no, we will directly give them bhakti. Yeah, we give them bhakti, but how many people will take to bhakti? Then what we will end up giving them is diluted bhakti, which is okay, which is good, but which spoils the core, the purity of bhakti, in the sense that people will think that this is how one should follow. But actually, this is not how one should follow. Bhakti has to be done tivra. Perfectly, we have to follow a process of bhakti because we have to achieve perfection. So this social institution of Varnashrama, how does it help? It helps people because in Varnashrama, people are taught to please, the whole goal or intention is to please the Supreme Lord. They won't have bhakti to Vishnu. They'll just do it just as a matter of practice that, okay, whatever I do, it should be for the pleasure of Vishnu. Eventually they can come to bhakti, right? But if they are doing something, but they are not getting attracted towards Krishna, then even that Varnashrama is useless. But here Prabhupada is saying that no, social institution cannot grow in a healthy state. We can see that today, in modern times, there is no Varnashrama and society is so diseased, not in a healthy state. And in each and every one of the above mentioned Varna Ashrama, the aim is to please Supreme Lord. So this is very important. Varnashrama institution is constructed to enable one to realize the absolute truth. It is not an artificial domination. It's not like this jati. Some one class of people dominate other. No. When the aim of life is missed because of too much attachment over for Indriya Priti, sense gratification, the institution of Varnashrama is spoiled. Because people use Varnashrama for selfish needs. But Varnashrama is required. So Prabhupada is saying, saner section of people know it well that this Varnashrama is required for the smooth social intercourse and high thinking, self-realization. So this is how a society needs to be. Now, if a society is not living Varnashrama, then it will be only focused on Indriya Priti, sense gratification. So we put so much of effort to preach. How many people come when you say, stop onion garlic only, they will run away. Because Indriya Priti, sense gratification. So some people say, don't even say that. Okay. But then they're chanting only one round. It's okay. How will they increase their rounds? Somehow you give them prasadam. But these are all not, they are lukewarm methods. At some point of time, we have to tell them saying that no onion garlic. And if they're so engrossed in sense gratification, they will run away. This is what the society is today. So Prabhupada said 50% of my business is undone. So Prabhupada's thought process was twofold. On one end, give bhakti, because there are already so many people who are in sattva guna or who are more favorable. They have already made sufficient progress in their previous lives for them to directly accept bhakti. For them, give them bhakti, Shuddha bhakti, not Mishra bhakti, Shuddha bhakti. Mishra bhakti means mixed with material desires. For those who don't, who are not qualified, who have not come to that stage, give them varnashrama. And slowly they'll come to the process of bhakti. So he said 50% is undone. So so according to him, 50% bhakti, from propagation of bhakti, prachar, 50% establishing varnashrama. But somehow today's leaders in ISKCON don't seem to accept that. And they just are ignoring that part. And that's a disservice to Srila Prabhupada. But anyway, so we should somehow try to adopt these things in our life. So which is why I keep highlighting Stri Dharma. Varnashrama Dharma has two parts, Purusha Dharma, Stri Dharma. Then there is Ashrama, Grihastha Dharma. What are some highlights? At least we should live for the pleasure of the Lord in whatever Varna we are in. If we get a suitable job, then it's okay according to our Varna. Otherwise, whatever we do, we offer it to Krishna. Mataji's strictly follows Sri Dharma because it's in their hands. They can just give up all nonsense thoughts about equality with men, etc., etc., and just engage in helping, making the whole family Krishna conscious, giving them Krishna conscious culture, and let the Purushas take care of the money earning business, because Matajis have such a big role to play. And then if one does Sri Dharma, actually this gives them actually innate happiness. This happiness is internal. Women feel. My wife Shraddha, she was Shraddha Devi Dasi, I should say. So before we came into Krishna consciousness, she was working and she was struggling so much to manage, house, work pressure, cooking, child, elders. Then she started hearing, lectures of His Holiness Bhakti Vikas Maharaj, and then she realized saying that no, this is not. I'm not anyway happy. I'm struggling. I'm struggling literally. I mean, I don't even have time to breathe. So then we discussed and we said it's okay. Whatever Krishna gives, with one salary, we will live. And Krishna gave because we surrendered to the instructions of Shastra. Krishna took care of us. So it's important that we follow these. And when we follow this, we should understand Krishna will guide us. Krishna will take care of us. We don't have to worry. But following these will enable us to actually, we will achieve perfection. We will achieve perfection in this life. If we follow these principles, it's very simple. If you remove all these nonsense thoughts about work, this, that, and all that, how much less material contamination? So much more spiritual consciousness. So we should follow this. Then grihasthas, we should do dana. Seriously, grihasthas have to do a lot of dana. Charity, give charity to ISKCON, to people who are propagating Krishna consciousness. We are always very worried. We think, okay, I'm having 10,000 rupees. I require only 3,000 rupees, but 7,000 rupees I will save for future because I don't know what is there in the future. Okay, I have to give charity. Okay, I will give 500 rupees. This is not charity. I mean, charity means wholeheartedly giving. Oh, okay, I have 7,000 rupees. Okay, maybe I'll give 2,000 rupees. No, why am I saying that? Because this is something that I did in my life practically. And I saw that more charity I gave, Krishna gave me more. Why? Because he knew that, anyway, if he gives more will go into Krishna's service. So very, very important that grihasthas wholeheartedly do charity. Wholeheartedly. We should not worry too much about future. How much money will protect us in this material world? How much money will protect us? Do we have any idea? Can we say, so much money if I have, I'm safe? Anything can be wiped off within second, Krishna willing, right? We should not be too worried about future planning and all this. Just be in the present. Okay, a little bit, for example, if you have a daughter, we have to marry her. Okay, some savings we'll do, no problem. That is required. That is responsibility, but not anxiety based saving. kal kya hoga, then, because of that anxiety, just hoard. This is not good. It's not going to help us also. It's not going to help our consciousness. And anyway, what is in store is in store tomorrow, right? Unless we surrender to Krishna, Sarva Dharman Parityajya Mamekam Sharanam Raja. Whatever we have to enjoy or suffer, which we'll anyway do. What will our, hoarding money or anything help in that way? And so these are some aspects of Varnashrama that we should follow. Then cleanliness. I've seen this, so many people, they have no sense of cleanliness. Simple aspect of cleanliness. For example, cooking should be done after taking bath, especially if food is being offered to the Lord. Simple, right? Whatever utensils we use for cooking should not be mixed with juta, with utensils in which we eat. Krishna should have a separate plate, bowl, etc. for his offering. We should sit together to eat. Normally, we should not eat and then serve with left hand. Not clean, because everything becomes juta then. So that is why previously mothers used to wait, serve everybody, and then they'll serve themselves. They know how much they want. They'll serve themselves. And if somebody else is there to serve them second time, etc., somebody will serve. Then wherever we sit and eaten, people don't realize they keep, like cooked utensils, other vessels, etc., on that place where we have sat and eaten. Oh, that is juta already. Once we eat, we get up from the place, we have to first clean the place. I'm talking about very simple things, which are all part of this Varnashrama teachings. Right? Then you go to the washroom for passing water or toilet. Toilet means you have to take bath. If you pass water, then we have to wash our legs. Many people don't do this. It's not clean because it's all germs, right? It's unclean bathroom. And then we come out like that and we say, no, my bathroom is very clean. And this is all modern Asuric thought process. Bathroom is not clean. That is why previously bathrooms used to be outside houses. Today, nobody has so much place. So it is attached bathroom is the trend. Right? So cleanliness, once you wear clothes for one time, 1 day maximum, put it for wash. So all simple things, so many things are there. Women should not cut their hair. It is not auspicious for the husband. So these things, again, people don't realize. Okay, trim karna. All this is all Varnashrama. This is all for our benefit. But we never heard. Nobody told us anything. And even if nobody tells also today also in it's because they say no. If you tell all these things, people will run away, Baba. Just leave it. Let them live life however they want. Let them just simply chant Hare Krishna. We'll chant Hare Krishna, but we'll not get Krishna Prema. No, what is the problem? That is a problem. By doing all this we become Krishna Prema? Because we become more and more purer. The whole idea is that our existence has to become pure. And the pure existence is not by following this demoniac way of life that Westerners came and gave us. Whatever principles we are talking about was always there in India from time immemorial. But these Westerners came, Britishers came, they spoiled everything. Now we think their process is only supreme. We don't want to go back to our processes, our way of life that we were following before. So all of these small things, like for example, wearing sari versus wearing something else. What is the big deal? Or wearing dhoti kurta versus wearing dhoti and then people wear shirt on it, or people wear dhoti but wear pant. What is the big deal? It's a matter of consciousness. It's a matter of consciousness. Oh, I'm a devotee of Krishna. Is this how devotee of Krishna? So if I dress like this, will I be allowed entrance into Goloka? Because I become attached to my dress, isn't it? I become attached. Oh, it's so convenient in wearing a pant, in wearing a chudidar. So what are we interested in? Convenience versus entrance into Goloka Vrindavan? Goloka Vrindavan, Krishna has his way of life, way of dressing. And that's what Prabhupada has given us here. If you say, nay, dhoti, udhar dhoti is required, but here I'll wear pants. So then we'll become attached to pant. We don't want to wear dhoti. We'll wear dhoti as official. Whenever I go to the temple, I'll wear dhoti. Whenever I go to the temple, I wear sari. But there's no chudidar. There's no pant shirt in the spiritual world. We become attached to these things. So all these contaminations in the society, one becomes attached to. And here we talked about detachment. So how do we cut ourselves away from all this? And I've seen so many devotees, they've been chanting for years, but they've not got rid of all this. I tell all devotees who are with me, I say, if you're going to the temple, no question wearing Western clothes, unless there is like a real, inevitability. Please don't go to the temple wearing non-Vaishnava clothes. Tilak to without question. I mean, almost like 2 years into Krishna consciousness, I started wearing tilak going to office. In fact, it helped. So many people started asking, what is this? What do you do? Many people in office wanted to hear Bhagavad Gita. It has its own preaching effect. And we don't have to worry. I mean, we are in India. In India, so many, anyway, Matajis anyway wear bindi. Sri Vaishnavas wear their, red tilak. People wear vibhuti. So everything is there. We have our own Vaishnava tilak. Simple. What's the issue? So these things have an effect on us, on our, when we look at ourselves. Without tilak, oh my God. Actually, Shastra says that without tilak, body is dead. Body is dead. Because tilak actually, we wear tilak in 12 places because then the body becomes the temple. So all these are small things, but these are not talked about today, unfortunately, and in the fear of losing people. But those who are there also are not following properly. So we should understand these principles. Why Prabhupada is saying these things? Why Varnashrama is talking about? Because it will help us live a more sane life, apart from the insanity of this modern material world. Okay. So the goal of every action is to Samsiddhir Haritokshanam, is to please Lord Hari. Tasmadekena manasa Bhagavan Satvatam Patihi Rotavya Kirtitavyascha Dhyeya Pujyascha Nityada. So beautiful. Tasmad, he's saying therefore. Therefore means what? Because I said devotional service is important. Goal of all Varnashrama duties is to please the Supreme Lord. Therefore, what you should do? What is that devotional service? Tasmad ekena manasa. One-pointed attention. Bhagavan Satvatam Pati. One-pointed attention towards whom? Bhagavan. Supreme Lord. Who is who? Who is Satvatam Pati? Satvatam means devotees. He is the Pati of Satvatas. Means he is the protector of the devotees. What we should do about that? Shrotavya Kirtitavyascha Dhyayascha Pujyascha. 4 things Srila Sukadeva Goswami is saying. Shrotavya, hear about him. Kirtitavya, glorify him. Dhyaya, remember him. Puja, worship him. So this is the goal of our life. Hear about Krishna, glorify Krishna, remember Krishna. What does remember Krishna mean? I was telling somebody saying that, when we are unwell, say, in our own languages, say Amma, Ma, whatever, right? In our own language, normally people call out their mother's names. Isn't it? We should stop this. We should replace it with Krishna. We should remember Krishna in every good, happy, sad situation, everything, every situation. We should remember Krishna. Oh, Krishna. Oh, Krishna is so merciful. Something good happens, we say, oh, Krishna is so merciful. I didn't deserve this. Oh, I'm suffering, there's fever. Oh, Krishna. Krishna, Krishna, Krishna. This is practical application. I'm struggling with health problem. I'm struggling with financial problem. I'm struggling with whatever problem. Krishna. Remember Krishna. And worship Krishna. We are worshipping Krishna every day by chanting his holy name, by offering flowers to his photo, deity form, chanting, so many. We go to the temple, etc., etc. We are worshipping. And when we worship this Bhagavan, we should understand he is Satvatampati. He will protect the devotees. And people will ask, how Lord is protecting? These devotees are suffering so much. That is Lord's protection. We can't see. We have very tiny brains. Prabhupada said, what can we understand with these teeny brains? Very tiny brains we have. We can't really understand what Krishna is doing and why he is doing. But we should just simply accept this is a matter of faith. Bhakti means increasing our faith from Komala Shraddha. Very, very soft, tender, delicate, which can be destroyed very easily. That kind of faith to staunch faith, strong faith. And yes, Rakshishati Vishwasa. Yes, Krishna will protect. I have to suffer. Yeah, that's also for your, that's also protection. That's also so that you become closer to Krishna. We should understand this. We should remember this. It took me many years to come to accepting this, statement that Krishna, in all situations, is protecting devotees who are surrendered to him. Surrender means, I keep saying this every time. Ankulyasya sankalpaha pratikulyasya varjanam rakshishati vishvaso goptritve varnam tata atmanikshepa karpan vidha sharanagati. The aspects of sharanagati, please read 18.66 purport. If you read it, please read it again. So sometime, once the flow of our Śrīmad Bhāgavatam classes becomes more regular, there are so many other things I want to discuss, which it's difficult for me to discuss in our Kannada group, etc., because people are not so philosophically inclined. But I will do with our English and Hindi groups in course of time. So with one pointed attention, we have to do this. Shotavya, Kirtitavya, Dhyaya, Puja. And it is Nityada. Nityada doesn't mean, Nityada actually means, has multiple meanings. Nityada means Nitya. One meaning can be every day, but actual meaning of Nityada is constantly. Constantly. There is no fixed time. Saying I am Krishna conscious, I will put a plate. Krishna conscious time, 4:30 to 8:30. Then Karmi time. No. Whatever we are doing, Nityada, constantly we should hear about, glorify, remember. How can I constantly hear about Krishna? Whenever we get time, we are chanting Hare Krishna. Whatever we are doing work, we are offering it to Krishna. And these are all also about, because we know we are glorifying him, we are using our Lakshmi to glorify him. So just doing these activities, not being materially attached, not doing things for our sense gratification. This is perfection of our Grahastha life. And then absolutely one has to move to Vanaprastha, wherein we give up all our material duties and fully engage in the beauty. Okay, so I think I will stop here. Yeah, because next few things we will continue this in the next session, because next couple of verses, and then there is glories of hearing Śrīmad Bhāgavatam. All these we should, we won't be able to complete all, but these are all very important. I think we've already 55 minutes. So we will again touch upon this verse again in the next session and move forward. This first canto is actually like real nectar. There's so many important things. Everything is, but this specifically, always every time I read this first canto, it's just so impactful. It really awakens bhakti in us. Really awakens bhakti in us. So we should really. Yesterday I was hearing somewhere saying that chanting is the key, but chanting with love. To develop love for Krishna, we have to hear. So hearing is super powerful. More we delve into Śrīmad Bhāgavatam, more we dive into Śrīmad Bhāgavatam, our bhakti will start getting it'll start awakening. Please read Śrīmad Bhāgavatam Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya. All the, now we'll say, we read Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya. Bhagavati Uttama Shloke. Bhaktir Bhavati Naistiki. And Nashta Prayashu Abhadreshu. All the Abhadra, all the unwanted things, anarthas, Nashta will get destroyed. This is practically, we've experienced this. Try to reach 3-4 hours reading Bhagavatam a day. Your world will be different. Literally, I'm telling. If you can read 3-4 hours a day Bhagavatam, your world will change. If you have the time, if you're a fortunate soul, if you have that much time, or at least read how much ever, 10-15 minutes lukewarm treatment. Lukewarm treatment we are giving to ourselves. We need treatment because we are materially stuck. A powerful treatment hai, very powerful, very, very powerful. It's experience. That's why I'm stressing this. The more you get drowned in Bhagavatam, the more faster you will become. You'll develop, and make progress in Krishna consciousness. Okay. These words I'll stop here. If anybody has any questions, we can ask. Bhagavatam ki jai, Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada.